Well, July is pretty much over and it just feels really good to be finally out of that reading rut and back to my old reading habits. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my monthly wrap up for July and I'll also be revealing of course my book of the month. But before I get into that, I just wanted to share some news with you. You'll probably notice that things look a little bit different. I decided to go out and upgrade my webcam just up to the next step and I decided to actually go with a Razer Kaio camera, which you can see there. It looks really good. It has an inbuilt ring light with it as well. It looks like Tony Stark's electromagnet on his suit. Looks really cool. It's a wide angle lens instead of the fisheye lens that I was using, so you'll notice that the edges of the frame aren't curving inwards, which got to be quite annoying and distracting. But the most important thing that I love about this camera is the lighting. You can see already that the room's nice and bright and the light ring inbuilt is adjustable, so it has a lot of degrees of brightness to it, and just overall I am really wrapped with the camera. You can see clearly in the background all my books and everything like that, and I couldn't be happier with it. So there you go. A little bit of a splurge, but much needed, because as I start to get a little bit more serious about YouTube in general, I thought, you know, it's kind of appropriate to just keep evolving over time. When you start out, you don't need to have expensive equipment, but I think over time, if you gradually build up to a level that you aspire to, then there's nothing wrong with that. Alright, so let's get into the books for the month that I read. Now, at the beginning of the month, I did make a commitment to read the Farseer trilogy, and I have released a couple of videos where I've updated on my reading progress with them, and it started off really well. So firstly, I started and finished really quickly Assassin's Apprentice, which I enjoyed a lot, and I also, straight after it, I picked up Royal Assassin, which was brilliant. For a second book, it really ticked all the boxes. And of course, I started book number 3, Assassin's Quest. Now, a couple of things with this. I didn't think it had the strongest beginning. I have actually taken a little bit of a break from it, but I plan on getting back into it hopefully later today or tonight. It's just that because the beginning was a little bit slow and not much happened, I became distracted by a stack of books on my desk, most of which I had bought recently, and kept looking at them, and I just wanted to read them, and so I was a bit torn. I'm like, do I press on or with Assassin's Quest, or do I just smash out 2 or 3 of the books I've brought? And it turns out I went with the latter and decided to lash out and delve into 3 really quick reads. So the other 3 books I read, the first one was Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Now, I have become a Blake Crouch fan ever since I read the Wayward Pines trilogy back to back at the start of this year. And of course, I ripped through Dark Matter. I couldn't put Recursion down. I had pre-ordered Upgrade for its release date, and I got it right on release day. And I didn't waste any time getting through it. It was brilliant. It was about frightening technology, how you can manipulate genes, and you can essentially tailor make different attributes and abilities in the human body. It was just really, really well done, and in true Blake Crouch style, he never disappointed. It was very quick, it was very cinematically written, and it had a really, really good character-driven plot, and really enjoyed it, and can't wait for his next book, however long that may be. The next book I picked up was Shattered by James Patterson. This was the next Detective Michael Bennett book in the highly successful series. It's probably my favourite series that James Patterson has ever done, and I've been looking forward to this one since January, and it certainly didn't disappoint. This time we found Detective Bennett trying to solve the murder of his ex-partner Emily Parker, who was an FBI agent who disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and he regards her as a really good friend, and he owed it to her to get to the bottom of what actually happened, and obstacles were in his way. He didn't give a shit whose toes he trod on. when he went to Washington DC to look into it, and it had a very satisfying conclusion. But the only bad thing about the book is it wasn't long enough. It reads very quickly, like most of James Patterson's books do, and that was over too quick. And now, I'm probably going to have to wait until next year for the next Detective Michael Bennett book. But not to fear, James Patterson has got a couple of other books that I'm really anticipating. There is another private series book, I think it's called Private Beijing, that's coming out, and a couple of standalones as well. So as James Patterson continues to churn out the books, I'm going to buy them. And the final book I picked up was by an Australian author, Ali Reynolds, and that is The Bay, which is her follow-up novel from Shiver, which came out last year. With this book, I have to say I didn't love the book, but I did like it. I felt I didn't feel compelled to look for every opportunity to get stuck into the book and finish it. It did take me about 3 or 4 days, but I think the main character in the book just didn't quite grab me. She came across as a little bit meek and mild. With the mystery that went on in the book and the murders that happened, I expected her to be a little bit more forward in singling out whoever was responsible for the murders. And whilst it was really well written, it was tightly written and quite well done, there was a lot of red herrings and distractions, and in true Ali Reynolds style, she does keep you guessing right to the end. But I think the thing that fell down for me was I wasn't sympathetic to Kenna, the main character. But I did like it, but didn't absolutely love it like I did her first book. And her first book, my wife read Shiver as well, which is this one here, which is Who Done It in the French Alps, I believe it was, and she read it in a day. She really liked it, and it kept her guessing until the end. So, hats off to Ali Reynolds. She is a really good author. I just didn't click with her main character. Okay, so let's look at my book of the month. Now, whilst I really enjoyed Assassin's Apprentice and Royal Assassin, there can only be one pick for the month. Now, any book of the month has to have a unique set of criteria. It has to have an engaging plot, it has to have a great premise, it has to have engaging characters, it has to keep you up at night to finish the thing, and more importantly, that X factor where you find yourself compelled to look for every opportunity to crack the book back open and finish the thing. Blake Crouch has that X factor to me, and he just engages you and takes you for a thrill ride, and you just have to turn the pages and you just have to finish the books. And the only thing I'll pick on his books for is they're not long enough. I would, they weigh in at about 340 pages or thereabouts on average, but I'd prefer them to be 500 pages because I like his writing so much. Now, Robin Hobb's great, and don't get me wrong, it was a pretty hard choice to pick between the Farseer trilogy and Upgrade, but in the end Upgrade won out purely because of that X factor where I find myself having to look for every opportunity to read the book. So there you go, guys. That was my book of the month, and overall I enjoyed the month. It was pretty productive, and as I said, I am getting back into Assassin's Quest this weekend. I've left it long enough. I just needed that break so I can squeeze in some much needed reads in the meantime, and I'm sure that I'll mow through the rest of Assassin's Quest because it is reputed to be really, really good and one of the best out of all 3 books. So I am looking forward to that, and I'm finally going to get back into it, and I am looking forward to that. So I didn't want to tank the book at all. It's just that I needed a break to fill in some gaps because the books were banking up on the desk and I just wanted to read them. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you read for the month of July. I'd be very interested in that. Please put comments below and I'll always respond to that. And with what's coming up on the channel, not a great deal at this stage. I'll probably reveal some reading plans for August. Now, as you are aware, I don't do TBRs anymore, but I'll give you an idea of what I've got planned for August and the books I may want to read, but at the moment I think Assassin's Quest will take me into the first week or two of August, and then after that, who knows, whatever I'm in the mood to read for. I still have a decent stack of books. I may even pick up It by Stephen King. I'm really anxious to read that again, and it may just happen next month, so we'll see how that goes. So and in other non-book related news, just a bit of an update, the brand new movie review channel I'm launching, that happens next Sunday night, so watch out for that. Please come across if you want to take a look, and I'll be putting up a promo on Facebook this week. I'll probably do a final promo trailer before I actually launch, and a lot of the elements are coming together. The launch video footage, I'm going to be doing that this weekend, and putting some things together with a surprise segment as part of the official channel launch video, so stay tuned for that. I'll share all that with you, but until next time guys, see you later.